Yeah, hey coach, thanks for taking some time to talk to us. Tough ending of the game, not how you wanted it to go. End up losing by one on the foul. Just what was the emotion like in the locker room after a loss in a game like that could have gone either way?
Disappointment, discouraged a little bit because we did fight so hard to get back into it and gave ourselves a chance. And it was coming up with trying to find a way to come up with one more stop, one more rebound. In fact, we got stops. We could never get the rebound. It's been kind of we battled the whole game to only lose, but they get those three there at the end or we win the battle on the boards. We battled so hard on it. And so you're disappointed, and then you get reflective, and you think it was the last play, but it wasn't. It was the play in the second quarter, that started their run. That really was the one that you go back and you look and go, that was probably just as important. But it's not at the end of the game. It's not when the band's playing. It's not when everybody's got all eyes on you. But I think we learned the lesson, a valuable, valuable lesson. We haven't been in that many close games. That one possession on the road at a place that we've struggled to win forever. You don't get that opportunity very often, so it should sting, and it does. I don't think our kids. I don't think our kids will ever do anything other than blame themselves. We've got a bunch of pleasers. I've already had, man, I should have made that shot. Man, I should have done this. Man, I shouldn't have done that. So when you get a group of pleasers, you don't have to be critical. They're going to watch the film. They're going to see one or two plays that can make the difference the next time we're in a close game. But I hate it because wins in this league are so precious. That would have been a chance to get to a third that separates you from a little group of people. Now Georgia gets their second, and it puts them in the group that we were in. So we've kind of had this little running battle with some teams at the bottom. We've still got a couple of those teams left, but our next couple are against teams at the top. So we can't linger on it too long. Can't linger on it too long. I think we found some defensive things there in the second half that we can kind of hang our hat on. We did a really good job, in the third quarter, and first and third quarter, second and fourth quarter, they shot pretty well. But I didn't sub much. This is normally the time of the year that we start to shrink our bench a little bit. Certainly have in the past. We've been very clear with expectations for listening, understanding, and executing. So maybe a time when we do start to shorten our bench a little bit. Maybe we found something a little bit there. Keats was on a little bit of a minutes restriction. I'll say that. We didn't get cleared literally until tip off. And then it's a minutes restriction, which is hard to navigate. So I was going to try her a little bit in the first half and see. And, after being out with a sports injury and like she was and not practicing full speed and with contact, I just didn't feel like it was the best idea to try to put her out there in that, and Kiki's still coming along. So I do think we got some good performances. We had some kids that we'll build on. I thought Vera really gave us, you look at our plus minus, and, if you look at our starting lineup, you take Izzy out, who's obviously going to be -1 because she didn't play, but Chris is +5, and Carly's +3, and Phoenix is +4, and Vera's +1. So that group, I stuck with them. I used timeouts. It's not an excuse, but it is a reason. It's the second game in 2 days, the second game of the weekend. We had to travel and tip off at an early time for our bodies. So for our group to play that, I've been times I've got on here and I've been upset at our effort, right? Y'all sense that. That's not the case today. Today was execution, and hopefully we'll learn something from it.
And you kind of mentioned the battle on the boards. You actually out rebounded them on the offensive side. What did you kind of like from the offensive side of the glass? Obviously, the final, ended up being 43-42 in favor of Georgia, but still a really physical game down low that, again, it went either way.
Well, that goes to that effort stuff that we've been talking about. Some of those plays haven't been there. We've kind of been afraid to stick our nose in there and tip a ball around or get somebody on your back, not over the back, but on your back. There's a difference in those two things. But we just need one more. We need one more big defensive rebound. I did like how we went at it. We had to go to some. We're kind of drawing some plays up in the dirt over there. We dusted off a couple things at halftime that we haven't run all year, but the way that they were deciding to clog the paint, we felt like we needed to stretch it out. I thought, Carly hitting the three, then Vera hitting the three, then Chris hitting the three. That loosened it back up to where Izzy could start to get to the lane a little bit more. So we had to. I thought we made some great adjustments. I thought, we tried a bunch of new things that just what we had to do to win the game. But we let it get away from there from that second quarter. I've been lobbying for volleyball scoring all along. We'd be 3-1, but that's not the way it works. That one run was all it took. Didn't manage that very well. We got sensitive to what we were doing on one end, carrying it over to the other. So, um, you learn. I think this is a learn from losses group. We did not learn very much from our win against A&M. We've obviously not played great since then. So maybe this is one of those learn from a loss teams, and this one will really, really sting.
And you mentioned Izzy there. Kind of quiet first half. I think she was around like 8, 10 points. Second half started to get going. Really in the fourth quarter, you went to her a lot late. Like, we've been accustomed to seeing. What did you like that, from her attitude where even though things weren't necessarily falling her way early on, she still stuck with it and gave you guys a chance at the end to tie the game and ultimately,
Yeah, just
be able to maybe win.
just that she wanted it, and those moments are going to come, and there was never any doubt. I also felt like she made the right basketball plays 3 or 4 times there. Like we'd clear the lane out, and they'd still have, and she kicked it out to Vera. That's the right basketball play. And it's, not forcing it, not trying to draw a foul. Fouls are tough on the road. So I just liked the way that she continued to approach it. There was no doubt that, as we were drawing some things up, we had good communication, just talking me to her and her teammates. I thought she and Phoenix played well off of each other. That's the most minutes Phoenix has played. I don't know that it's not a career high for maybe Carly and Chris even too. I don't know. We'll have to check that. But I thought that she made good basketball plays, and she was not asking to try something different. She wanted it on her shoulders. She's ready for that. I know she'll be really hard on herself. There's a couple of shots around the rim that she's been making all year, but again, because of those things I said, we had to travel. Had to add. I think she played 40 minutes the other night too. Yeah, that's the 80 minutes we need her all week. That's been our plan, was to make sure if we needed her for 80 minutes, we have her. But that's still taxing. That's really hard on your body. But I know if I'd have tried to take her out, she probably wouldn't have come out. So no use trying.
Yeah, Coach, last question I'll ask is, Carly and Vera, you've kind of mentioned both of them. Both of them had double digits tonight. You really relied on them late scoring wise, both putting up, like I said, 12 and 13 points. What did you like about the two of their performance today?
Oh, just that they took what the defense gave them. They weren't out there necessarily, searching for it. It kind of came their way, and it was in rhythm. Vera played with only one turnover, which is really good for her. And then, KJ's always been kind of that takes what come along, and she's going to look and go, I went 3 for 7 from the free throw line. Could have been something she did better. I know she'll look at that and she'll want to do better. And I think focus maybe a little more in practice now when we're shooting drills on free throw drills, because if she's going to get those opportunities, I know she wants to be able to perform. So, for her to stick to it, she's in that really rough spot to where she's always been right on the cusp of the rotation. She's always been 8-9 for the last couple of years. And because of injuries last year, she's been thrust into having to be a starter. And that's a hard place to live. That is a really hard role to have. Not everybody can do that role. She's certainly capable of it, but it's a really hard role to fill. And she did great. I mean, we don't have a chance today if she and Vera don't accept those roles. Game's not down to the wire. It's another blowout deficit. So happy to see them do it. I hope that they'll look at their good film and carry over the confidence and learn from the mistakes that they made, so that the next time those opportunities arise, they'll be more prepared to handle them.